Commanders versus Bucs. We're back. This is game 5 of our wild card previews. This is another very interesting matchup to really just highlight how good this wild card weekend has been. Besides maybe one game, this might be one of the best that we've had with all these matchups, and this one surely isn't going to disappoint. Preston, I know you had some numbers you wanted to get into right off the bat about why you really like this matchup.
I think this is just strength versus strength matchup, honestly. I mean, you look at the Commanders' rushing offense, third in the league, and then you look at the Bucs' rushing defense, it's fourth in the league. And then you go over to the Bucs offense, they've got the number 3 passing offense, and the Commanders have the number 3 passing defense. I mean, you just both of their strengths combine into each other. It's going to be a hard matchup for both. I mean, I think the biggest thing though is you look at experience between the two teams. The Bucks have been here, I mean, the Commanders. It's been since when's the last time they made the playoffs? 20. It was the year that
Yeah,
they went 8-8 or whatever,
yeah.
and
And I mean,
the
it doesn't
entire
really,
NFC East was 8-8.
but I mean, none of these people were around for that anyway. Coaching
It's been
staff,
it's been
players.
so long,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, Jaden Daniels, excellent athlete. Uh, Never been there before though. Never been here. Never been in the playoffs, college, professional, anything like that. So does he know what it takes to win when it matters the most? Baker Mayfield, he hasn't gone far, but I think he's made an NFC Championship game, I believe, right? Um, but nonetheless, I mean, this is strength versus strength. This is NFL football, the best of the best, and it'll get much better than this game right here.
It does. I mean, I think this is going to be one of the most fun matchups we see just because if these offenses are going, both of these offenses can go. Like, they have really great scoring offenses, as you can see, the fourth and fifth best in the league. They've got exciting players to watch. Like Jaden, he's just exciting because he can turn any play into a big play at any moment. Baker's just been slinging the ball around, and he's got some
Top
nice
five
receiving
QB.
core. And there's also something that there's another little storyline with this game. If Marshawn Lattimore is able to play, which we're not sure if he'll be able to yet because he's kind of been dealing with hamstring all year, but if he's able to
Oh,
play, we have playoff Lattimore versus Evans, and that
that's
might be
gonna
the
be fun to
biggest storyline
watch.
this game. So, not good news for the Bucs if Lattimore's healthy, because typically he gets the upper hand in these
Hmm.
matchups. But either way, that is going to be a very fun matchup to watch, and hopefully he's able to go. Because I mean, that'd just. I'll tell you one thing: we saw in this last game of the season, the Bucs at the end of the game went and completed one more pass to him to get Evans the yardage he needed to get that 1,000-yard receiving season, go tie the record. If Marshawn Lattimore was still with the Saints, he would have been playing press coverage on that play just to not let him have it.
Why did the Saints not put 4 people on Evans? Like that, I don't know. That just doesn't
I
make any sense
mean,
to me.
I,
I would
I think
be.
a lot of it is the NFL is a brotherhood. So it's like you have all these rivalries, but like him doing that got him $3 million. So they're gonna like week 18. You see a lot of like people going for bonuses, doing stuff like that. It's just like the year
I
before
don't
where
care.
they had Jamal
No, you're
Williams
not.
score that touchdown late against the Falcons so he could get the bonus. Now, Dennis Allen, because he's Dennis Allen, went and apologized to the Falcons, but he's unemployed now, so I digress.
I don't. I don't care at all, dude. If I'm not, yeah, you're not getting your bonus 5 anything to say about that. Especially like if you earn it, you earn it. But they had won the game. They just couldn't. They could have knelt it. The game was over.
Yeah, but I
That
mean,
that's disrespectful in my opinion. I wouldn't allow it. But that's just me.
it's
So
just kind of how it goes, though. But because a lot of these guys are friends, it's like, it's not like things used to be where like people actually hated each other, but this rivalry is one of them that they do. So if Lattimore was out there, don't think that would have happened. And I really hope we get to go see them butt heads, but what you were saying with the comparison of these teams, that's really going to be the interesting dynamic because Commanders, their offense, they want to get that run game going. They want to get B Rob going. They want to just be primarily, we're going to run the ball. We're going to do a really horizontal offense. We're going to do a lot of screens, a lot of bubbles, a lot of just short passes, like move the ball horizontally and then go like that. Then because you have Jaden, you're able to have some explosive plays, but the Kingsbury offense really is predicated around the run game and the horizontals and spreading the field so that you're able to open up those lanes. That's not a game plan that you can really do against the Bucs because they this year and every year they're one of the best run defenses in the league. It helps because the way that they build their team, they want big run stop and D tackles. They want to be able to say, you're not going to run the ball against us. And that's what they're going to try and do. A little bit of an interesting note, though. You saw earlier in the season a matchup that is kind of a similar idea. The Lions go into the Bucs and they see, all right, they have a really good run defense, but they don't have that good of a pass defense. So their response was they wanted to go try and air it out, and they had Goff throw it like over 50 times. They ended up losing, not putting up that many points. I think they only put up 16 points that game. And Goff got
Mm-hmm.
like 300 yards, but it's a very inefficient 300. It'll be interesting to see, do the Commanders look at that and say, all right, we just want to stick with our game plan because this is what we do? Or are they going to just air it out and let Jaden loose? I think they're going to need to have at least some of that to go be able to beat this team. But their approach is going to be really interesting. Like, how much do they stick to their guns and how much they kind of go try and take advantage of a weak secondary?
So there's also another little wrinkle to this matchup, and that's Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn was in this division. He knows Mike Evans. And being a defensive guy, I think he can scheme something up for Mike Evans. And I don't know about y'all, but Mike Evans hasn't looked particularly fantastic this year. Kool-Aid McKinstry kind of held him in check the game against the Saints, but most of his yards came from Alante or Hugo or a safety guarding him in different zone concepts. So I feel like if you shut down Mike Evans, is Jalen McMillan enough of a receiver to be able to carry the load? You don't have K Dot. I don't believe K Dot is going to play. He might. I might be wrong. So he doesn't have Baker doesn't have his one of his favorite targets there. Uh, who else is there? Bucky Irving. I believe that
I think
if
you got to lean on
Bucks,
Bucky Irving for sure
yeah, if
this
the
game.
Bucks
For the
don't
Bucs.
waste time with this running back by committee crap that they've been trying to sell on everybody and just go fully into Bucky Irving, I think that can help their chances out a lot. But these are two teams, in my opinion, that are built to handle a shootout. Um, Baker Mayfield is a quarterback that just won't die. He gonna keep slinging it. Jaden Daniels is a smooth operator. Nothing really seems to phase him, even being down by 1 million and having 4 turnovers. So this is going to be an interesting game. I think this is going to be a sleeper game, and I feel like it's going to be a shootout. Um, that's my bold prediction for it. But
I don't think shootouts that bold.
Says
well,
it's a sleeper game, or we've been hyping it up the entire time we've been
Yeah,
talking.
so
But yeah,
sleeper game the
no,
intro.
like,
And one of the
but
best
like if we're
matchups of the week.
well, I mean, if we're going to talk about the games that people are going to watch, I suspect that a lot of people are going to go towards that Rams game. They're going to watch Philly. I just feel like in terms of the NFC, this is going to be one of the lower watch games, which is why I say it's a sleeper game. Um, but I feel like if you're the Bucks, going back to Bucky Irvin, you got to lean on him a lot. And if you're Baker, you gotta be the Baker that wins. You can't be the inconsistent Baker. Really, it's like what y'all were saying earlier, right? What team are you going to get with the Bucks? And if you get the Baker that we've seen these last couple weeks, I think you're in good hands. Um, but Jaden Daniels, man, rookie of the year. I think he didn't, like Preston mentioned, he didn't get an opportunity to show up in the college playoffs, and he's a rookie now. But it seems like he has the makings of somebody who can handle his own in this type of situation. Um, but with all that being said, because I hate the Bucks, I'm gonna roll with the Commanders.
Well, I do want to say something else about Jaden. It's like, when you're saying you think he has the makings, he's also an older rookie, and you're kind of seeing a trend this year. You got Bo Nix, older rookie. You got Jaden, older rookie. You got Penix, he was an older rookie too. Like, he comes in and he starts. Obviously, he didn't make the playoffs, but you're starting to see these older rookie quarterbacks are starting to become popular because they've had time to actually be in college. You have plenty of tape on them. You know what they can do, and they've been able to develop. And because of that, they're able to come in immediately and succeed. As I mean, like, you know what you're getting with them. They're a guy that played 4 or 5 years in college, and I think that's a trend that we're going to start to see more. Everyone in the past was always like, oh, you don't want these older rookies. It's like, he's too old to draft. It's like you'd hear it with like Hendon Hooker. Like, I know he has a different situation because he is hurt, but that's a big name. It's like, well, the knock on him is he's old. Well, I don't think being old is really a knock anymore. If anything, it's a pro. But just a little interesting note. I also think you're completely right with how they need to lean on Bucky because, like we said, the strength of the Commanders' defense is their pass defense. They have the 30th ranked rush defense. That's a problem. I mean, when you get to the
Update. Marshawn Lattimore was a full participant in today's practice.
Here we go.
Great.
Seems like he will
So
be
Mike
playing.
Evans will be a non-factor this game. Did we even mention Todd Bowles being a terrible coach? Did we mention that? I feel
I
like
mean,
that should be a wrinkle.
to be fair, when we're talking about playoff success, both of these coaches, I mean, you could make arguments for maybe you don't want to trust them in the playoff setting because, I mean, Bowles, we have him, and then we also have a coach that blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. 30th ranked rush defense, though. Like, when it comes down to the playoffs, those are the kind of things that really get exposed because you're going to be game planning for that, and you're going to have teams that are, like, most of the time, the teams that you're playing are going to be competent enough at both run and pass, and they're going to be good enough, like, able to do what they want. So when you have a glaring weakness like that, just like the Bucs pass defense weakness, it's all about how can you take advantage of those weaknesses. So just like it's a strength on strength matchup, there's also some big weaknesses that we're going to see if they're able to take advantage of. But it's definitely an exciting matchup. I'm definitely looking forward to this one, and I think it's going to be one of the most fun ones of the weekend. Anyway, you have any other thoughts, or you want to get to predictions?
Let's say we get to predictions.
Well, we know Calvin's prediction already. So,
Yep.
Preston, what's your prediction?
Give me the Commanders. I'm gonna stick with it. I love my boy Baker Mayfield. I think he's still a top 5 quarterback. But I just think Jaden Daniels has got something where he's not going to quit no matter what. They could be down by 2 scores in this game. They're still in it, you know.
I'm about to make us look bad because I'm also going with the Commanders. So congratulations to the Bucs on winning this game because we are Commanders across the board.